for most of the season, Isaiah has been more of a facilitator than a scorer on offense. Was he just taking what the defense gave him tonight, or have you told him to be a little more aggressive at that end?
Well, he was real good on the offensive glass, which I thought was extremely important. He had the 3 offensive rebounds, got some plays at the free throw line, but that little 17-foot shot, if they kind of sagged off of him, was significant. And just to knock that down, I think he might have, did he take a 3? He did. We penetrated. But he's made some of those shots before, but that's so important when we can get that kind of contribution from, as I mentioned, Malcolm's been scoring so well. Anthony or London, when another guy gives us that kind of output offensively, that really balances, I think, our team and makes us more potent on offense and harder to guard.
Tony, it was very deliberate offensively in the first half. I think you had 12 assists on 13 made baskets against them. Why is that such a key to sort of control that tempo?
I mean, that's kind of how we play, Mike. I mean, we try to move the ball and get it side, top side, and get good shots. If there's one early, we'll take it. But they did a pretty good job of pressuring us, and they bogged us down a little bit, and we couldn't quite, at times, couldn't run our offense that well. But then when we did get the ball reversed and ran our stuff hard, we got some good action. Isaiah hit some of those shots, got some of the offensive rebounds and some points in the paint. But if something's there, we'll take it from the right guys early. But otherwise, we do just come down and try to get a good look whenever we can. And sometimes against good defenses that are set, it takes a little longer. Virginia Tech really jams the lane. They flood it, they pack it, they pick up a ton of charges. So you got to make the next pass, and they forced us certainly to do that early.
Tony, the numbers would suggest that you played much better defense tonight than in Blacksburg.
The eyes would too, I think.
I was going to say, does your critical eye tell you the same? And if so, what did you do better?
Absolutely. Now, they missed some bunnies. We caught some breaks. They had some point-blank layups or dunks that they missed that affected us, and we gave a few away too. But so we weren't great defensively, but we were better. I thought we didn't get split as much on the ball screens, and we slid a little better. And just, as I mentioned, I think we're playing better collectively defensively. Our defense is such a team defensive system. I mean, you need good individual slides on the ball and closeouts, but it really relies on all the guys being in the right position and making it hard. And I think I used the term, we were tied a little tighter together, and I just think we're in sync a little more than we were at the time we played them last year. They got transition buckets on us last year. They kind of had their way with us, and so this was better.
Tony, it seems like most shots anymore are either three-pointers or driving to the basket. Is Isaiah's kind of mid-range game, is that kind of a lost art maybe, and just kind of an element of surprise because he's obviously very willing to take those shots and looks for those shots?
Yeah, I think sometimes people sag off so much. Either they key on Anthony or we're running some of our offense, so the bigs really step off. So that he's comfortable with that. Right now, I don't think he can shoot the three okay, and I'm sure we'll address that in the offseason to improve his range. But if it's a room and rhythm shot that we've talked about a lot, we want him to take that. And, I remember last year against zones or different times, he hit some big shots for us. So in rhythm, it's just a good quality shot that we want him to take. And he's smart enough to know if it's not feeling right, he'll turn it down and get something else.
One more thing about Isaiah. I think you moved him into the starting lineup about 5 games ago, primarily for defensive reasons, or what led you to make the move, not to the start?
We were starting him before, and then we went away from it. I think it was after the Virginia Tech game. I just thought we maybe needed some size, and didn't want to get Mike in early foul trouble. We thought about that. I went with Jack for a while, but just after watching it and again, playing teams that, really Virginia Tech you need mobility to guard guys like that. You need mobility to guard Pitt, Young, and Jeter. Artist, yeah. Well, he's the 3, so I think it was Jeter. The different guys, and then against Louisville, they run their matchup zone, so you need some skill in passing and some of those mid-range shots. And I just thought the time was right, and he plays so hard. And, again, there's not a lot of separation, and I like the match with he and Anthony. So kind of went back to that, and he's given us a very nice lift.
Tony, two things. What did you see tonight that you think, we got to tighten that up? And What did you think of Mike Tobey finishing that fast break with a dunk and getting an and one?
The latter, it was nice to see him run the floor and finish that. I thought we got a little bit sloppy with some of our inbound plays. That was my fault at the end of the half. I was frustrated. I kind of the ball in an awkward spot, but a couple times on the inbounds against the pressure, we just sort of gave the ball away and had I believe seven turnovers in the second half that were careless. I told him, I said, you're playing too sound and quality play to give up some of these easy ones the way we did. So that was the part I think we needed to tighten up offensively. And, there was a couple miscommunication things, or we didn't communicate well defensively. For Chris Clark coming back after being out for a while, you could see his quickness and explosiveness. We had a hard time. He got to the rim pretty quick, and we had a little trouble with him.
Jeff and then Mark.
Was this the kind of game you expected, performance from Anthony coming off the Pitt game?
He was discouraged, but he still did some good things. We sat down and I talked to him. I said, be encouraged because, we played pretty well without you having a big offensive game. And I said, you did some good things defensively. You're just going to have sometimes those games when you get keyed on like that. But he did a nice job. He was efficient. He let it come. And then when Leday got in foul trouble, he did a nice job of attacking that. So Anthony's such an important part, and I liked his mindset. I liked his aggressiveness, but playing within himself. I want him to be aggressive, but I thought he still let it come in a way, and I think that's a sign of maturity.
Two more. Speaking of Leday, what was your defensive game plan against Leday today?
Well, he really hurt us at their place, sorry. And he's been playing so well because he's really a triple threat guy, or he can shoot the three, score in the post, get on the glass, and then he can beat you off the dribble. And we just wanted to make him earn. We just played against Young at Pitt, who's a very good power forward. And then when they put Bibbs at the 4 and him at the 5, you just have to keep him in front, contest his shots, and make it hard and jam the lane. And I thought we did a better job, and the foul trouble certainly helped because he couldn't be on the floor as much. But he's really having a heck of a year. I think we got him going because he wasn't shooting great from the three-point line when we played him, and he's now over 50. So that was fortunate or important for us to hold him at bay.
Last question on the right.
Nolte had 4 points on 3 shots. In what ways are your offense more potent when Nolte's aggressive and looking for a shot? Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Nolte had 4 points,
Yep.
3 field goal attempts. How is your offense more potent when he's aggressive and looking for a shot like that?
For sure. He just anytime we get those contributions from, it was Mariel at Pittsburgh. It was, Isaiah did it today. Even Evan at Pittsburgh hit a 3. And just to see him get some rhythm shots, it stretches the defense more. You can't key in just on Anthony inside or, Malcolm or London. So I think that balance that we get from those other guys is very important. And I thought Evan is, he's kind of picking it up, and it's an important time for us.